Good morning, everybody. It's been a long time since I've put up a video, so I figured I would. I haven't been back to Disney since the pandemic and social distancing and all that. So decided to go yesterday. Got a reservation for the Magic Kingdom, which is very surprised. It's probably because school's back in full swing back in session. But everything's appearing now. Whereas when they first reopened, you could only at Epcot because nobody wanted to go to Epcot. Especially, who wants to go to Epcot with all those green walls and barriers up with all the construction and whatnot. Magic Kingdom, how did it go? Well, getting into parking was relatively easy. The area that I parked in, they were social distancing vehicles, so it was every other parking spot. However, on the way out of the Magic Kingdom to get back on the monorail, the cars that we had to walk through were all parked side by side, front to back. We were in a section where we parked up against a curb, so there was no front to back. It was just pull in, and you were the only vehicle in that lane, and that was it. So, because of limited capacity, it was a very short walk to the Transportation and Ticket Center. We went through first the Advent Health temperature screening, which wasn't a big deal, I suppose. Then we went through security. We weren't stopped. Typically you get stopped for a metal detector, and we didn't get stopped, didn't empty our pockets. Got in the monorail line. You're assigned at this point now. Once you get up to the monorail platform, which we got up immediately. We were the first ones there, and on the way out, we were the second ones there. You're assigned a number, 1 through 4. You stand on that circle. When the monorail shows up, the doors open, and it's really, really weird, to be honest with you. When you get in the monorail, there are these white. They're not completely opaque. You can't see through them, but they're not. It's really difficult to explain. But picture a piece of white plastic that you can see light through, but not a person itself. So there are 4 sections in each monorail car, numbered 1 through 4, and of course you get on whatever number you're standing on. That's the section you go to, and it's almost like if you've ever been to Universal, it's almost like the train in Harry Potter that takes you from one land to the other. It's reminiscent of an actual ride or attraction, not a monorail, because you're in a seat. It's like I said, it's difficult to explain. But then you get to the Magic Kingdom. There were no lines whatsoever. These people out there were saying, these lines are open, because all the people were going to another section. But even if you went to the busy section, it looked like there was only a line of 2 to 3 people, and this is at 11 a.m. So we got in within, I'd say after unloading from the monorail, we got in probably a minute later. It only took a minute to get down the ramp and through the tap styles, which of course are not in use anymore. Now they just scan your Magic Band. So the Magic Kingdom itself, it was a little bit eerie to see it as empty as it was. Plenty of open space. Wait times were, let me put it this way. Our first ride was Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and we got that wasn't a bad line. Looks very bad, but it was not bad at all. The second ride we went on was, trying to think now, what was Haunted Mansion? Was it Haunted Mansion? Yes, I believe it was Haunted Mansion. So we went on the Haunted Mansion. Again, there are these stickers on the ground that say, please wait here. So social distancing was in full effect. And then they kept the Welcome Foolish Mortals narrative as you walked through the stretching room, but they cut it short. They didn't say, are these portraits stretching? They kind of modified it. So then you get on the ride, and the Haunted Mansion, what it is, how it works. I think we stopped 3 times during our ride, and I'm not sure if it was because it was a handicapped person boarding or if it was stroller, or what it was. I'm thinking that it's possibly that it was they were stopping to clean ride vehicles, to disinfect them, and then they would let a bunch of people on and keep some type of count to keep the line moving, but also keep disinfecting. We also went on Splash Mountain. The line for that was not terrible. They did turn the pump off at the end when you go down the big drop. They turned the pump off, so when you go down, there's no big, huge geyser of water coming up at the people, watching from above. And again, everything was pretty typical. The lines of all the attractions were relatively, if not very short. They looked long, but they were short. We wanted to go on Peter Pan's flight, but that line, you've got to assume it's always going to be long, regardless of social distancing or whatever they're doing. But it looked a lot longer than I'm sure it was, but it was still very, very long. It went down to, I can't remember. It went through the regular, switchbacks, and then it went out of the building and then curved around other parts of other restaurants and rides and whatnot. It was absolutely insane. Astro Orbiter, we tried for the first time, and the line for that wasn't too bad, even though it was very hot, because the line for that is primarily outside. It's not covered. There is no shade. What else did we do? There was one that we got on, Pirates of the Caribbean. The line for that had a 30-minute wait, and we actually waited over an hour. So that was very underestimated in terms of getting on that ride, the predicted wait time and the actual wait time. However, there was one ride where the predicted wait time, I believe, was 20 minutes, and we were on in 5 minutes. And that was, I'm trying to remember, I can't remember which one that was. But in any event, it doesn't matter. It was a very pleasant experience. It was eerie to see Disney that empty, but it was also kind of refreshing because there was plenty of room to walk around. You didn't have people. There were some people that were getting admonished by cast members for not wearing their masks correctly. On Astro Orbiter, one woman had to be, I don't know. I'm not good with kids' ages, but maybe 4 years old or 3 years old in her own ship, rocket ship. And the cast member came over and said, "You have to sit with her." And then she said, "And you have to put your mask on." So there are people pushing the limits. Guess the one good thing about this social distancing is the lack of tour groups. And for you Disney fans, you know who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about. These foreign tour groups that come over here and do all these loud chants and block pathways and basically take over the park like they own it. Well, you can't do that anymore, so there were no tour groups. We'll see what happens in July when Brazil goes on their break. But so there were no tour groups. The park was relatively empty. Plenty of space to walk around. The Columbia Harbor House is currently closed, but they have relocated their menu to, I can't remember where it was. I believe it might have been, I'm not even going to try to guess. I was trying to take too much in at once to figure out what was going on, to be honest with you. It was a very warm day in the sun. It was about 75, 80 degrees, I think. But, overall, the cast members were friendly. We didn't eat. We got a bucket of popcorn on the way out. Obviously, I think you probably know by now that if you go to Disney and you get an ice cream or popcorn or anything to eat, pretzel, you cannot walk around and eat it because you have to have your mask down, obviously. And so they won't allow that. They won't allow you to walk around and eat it. But, so what you have to do is find a place 6 feet away from people, and you have to stand and eat and just look, stare, whatever. So that's kind of a drawback to what's going on. The monorail ride back was relatively good to the Ticket and Transportation Center. And we got into the vehicle. We found it easily. That's another draw. That's a problem if they have to fix in parking. There are no more signs to tell you where you are. In other words, when you used to park, you could be in, let's say, Peter Pan 471. You know, the Peter Pan's the section, 471 is your row. And even if you don't remember where you parked, you knew you were in that section and row, and all you had to do was walk down to the end of the row, and you'd eventually walk into your vehicle. There were no markings anymore, so you pretty much have to be very cognizant of where you are going. So it was a good trip to Disney. It's like I live in Florida. I live an hour south of Orlando, or an hour south of Disney. So when I say it was a good trip, it was a good visit. We'll probably be going back next Saturday and Sunday, splitting the day between Disney and house cleaning because it severely needs some house cleaning. If I look different, I'm going to get on a personal level now. If I look different, I have lost 11 pounds. I have gotten back on track, back to the gym. My dog, Brooklyn, I don't know if I put this in a prior video, she is gone. She was put down some time ago. So now all I have is Rocky. And the poor guy is getting old. Very, very old. He doesn't want to run anymore. He's getting lazy. All he wants to do is eat and pee. He's not even affectionate anymore. He's just become an old man. And, I'm not complaining about that. He's 13 years old and he's an 80-pound Rottweiler lab mix. So, I'm getting old too. I've lost flexibility. Whoever's out there is watching this that has not yet reached the age of 40, do your best to try not to. Because when you hit 40, it's go all downhill from there. All downhill. In other news, I have left my PhD program, and I am contemplating going to flight school, moving out of Florida, moving out of Florida and going to North Carolina to flight school to become a pilot. So yeah, get that going for me. But that's about it. It's a pretty dreary day down here in Florida. No, I will. I'll try to take some videos. I'm gonna try Animal Kingdom and maybe Epcot or Hollywood Studios next weekend or this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And I'll try to take some videos and post them. But otherwise, have a good week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.